The equinox is almost upon us. So, this is a great time to do a little bit of a check in. Hello, magical person. My name is Lou, and I'm a reader, intuitive, artist, and maker. And I'd like to welcome you back to my channel, where I offer tarot readings and backyard magic videos, as well as live streams. So let's start off with the basics. What is an equinox? An equinox is an occurrence that happens 2 times a year, and what it is it's when the number of hours in the day is equal to the number of hours in the night. So it kicks off the beginning of autumn and the beginning of spring. This particular equinox, if you are in the northern hemisphere, this is the autumnal equinox or the autumn or fall equinox. So we are kicking off the season of autumn, and we are moving from a place of where our days are longer than our nights back into a place of over winter where the days will become shorter and shorter until we reach the solstice. If you are in the southern hemisphere, then you are at your vernal or spring equinox. So your days are going to be getting longer and longer and your nights shorter and shorter. For all of us, though, it is Libra season that is being kicked off with this equinox. And Libra is, of course, about balance. This is going to be a pick a card tarot reading, and there will be 4 to choose from. We will have Earth, air, water, and fire. And I will insert a still here, so if you'd like to pause the video and ruminate on which reading you believe is for you, then you are more than welcome to do so. You can always pick one or more than one. Always take what resonates and leave the rest, of course. What we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at the 2 energies for you to focus on bringing into balance at this time during this equinox season. We're also going to be looking at the why of these 2 energies being brought into balance, as well as getting some helpful advice and information about how best to focus our attention to encourage the balancing of these energies. Is there anything else I wanted to mention? Nope, I think that's it. So we are just going to go ahead and dive right into reading 1. Hello, group 1. If you selected the element of earth, which this is the alchemical symbol for the element of earth, which you probably can't see it very well, then this is going to be your reading. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at 2 different energies that there is an invitation in play during this equinox season to bring these 2 energies into balance. We're also going to be taking a little bit of a look at the why behind these 2 energies, as well as getting some helpful tips for where you can put your focus on that might assist with bringing these energies into balance. And like I said, or maybe I didn't, but I'm saying it now, this is a mix of both tarot and oracle cards. So let's go ahead and see what we've got. All right, so on one side of the aisle here, we have one energy is the 3 of Boons, which is otherwise known as the 3 of Pentacles, the 6 of Cups, and the Weaver of Boons, which is otherwise known as the Queen of Pentacles. And then on the other side, we have the King of Pentacles, the 8 of Wands, and the Strength card. Ooh, interesting. So the energies that you're being invited to bring into balance here. One of them is an energy of rumination and being a healer and working with others and being in community. And maybe you are a person that in your friend group often is the counselor or the one that people come to when they want to talk something through. So that's the energy on one side. And then on the other side, we have the energy of communication and being in a place of of strength and using compassion to gain strength rather than brute force, as well as that King of Pentacles energy, which is really having the mastery, having earned the wisdom to not only be in a place where you're manifesting a lot of material wealth, but that you also know how to manage it and how to maintain boundaries with it. So overall, I'd say this is kind of looking like the energies of the place where you stand in community and in your friend groups, and also how that pertains to kind of your relationship with yourself and what your own greater goals are. So I don't really feel like either one of these are particularly bad energies. They both it feels overall pretty like high vibe. But let's see here for the why. We have two cards. We have the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits and Soul Tribe. Oh, interesting. And then we also have the Two of Cups. Yeah, like I said, this doesn't feel like there's any like negative energy that needs to be brought into balance in the way that we typically think of, like I said with the equinox itself, it's literally the balance between light and dark. But for you group one, earth friends, I feel like this is more really just a matter of making sure that to stay in that place of love, that Two of Cups energy, that you are doing a good job of both showing up for others and being in community, and also communicating when you need to have some compassion and keep your resources for yourself. And that by being in that place of being able to manage a balance between those two energies, that actually puts you in a better place to be in this Two of Cups energy. Because, of course, if we come with our own cup full, then we are more able to fully participate in that relationship and be in relationship at all. It's like if you aren't doing the things that you need to do self-care wise to keep your boundaries in place, to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, giving yourself the space that you need to process, rest, recover, get ready for the next thing. If you're not giving yourself all of that, then when you are showing up to things, you're showing up to things diminished because you're not really keeping yourself fully resourced. So next, we are going to take a look at some helpful energies in attaining this goal. One is vulnerability. Ooh, I like this. I like this is where this is going. Um, Two, we also have feeling. Oh my gosh, yes, group one. I love it. And then for tarot cards, we have the Eight of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, and the Five of Wands. Oh my God. Group one, I love this. And maybe for some of you more than others, this actually is something that you very deeply struggle with. So I hope I didn't make it feel like I was minimizing it at all before, because this is kind of saying that, like, maybe you don't feel like it's okay in your community, and whether that's family or friends or work, however community shows up for you in this situation, maybe it doesn't feel like a position, like you're in the position where you can express your feelings about things and you can be vulnerable and be like, as much as I love this space, as much as I love engaging in this space and spending time with you all and being in community, I do also need time to take care of these other things. So it's almost like there's a little bit of like, there's a lot of feelings, but they're like whispery. And this is really an invitation for you to, again, using that strength to also show your vulnerability, because you aren't superhuman. And of course, you need to resource yourself. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I feel like maybe perhaps with this Ten of Swords and this Five of Wands showing up group one, is that a squirrel or a cat behind me? That's a cat. Um, as far as like, it feels like maybe working with boundaries has been something that has been a struggle for you a lot. And this is really about the Eight of Pentacles, putting in the work. And putting in the work to keep yourself from feeling like you were conflicted, like feeling like you are overwhelmed and you're not sure how to move forward. It's like, I don't know, maybe somebody that is in that you care about and that you like spending time with. Maybe there's a little bit of fear of conflict showing up here. Like, if you are honest and vulnerable and, put your boundaries in place and make your own needs known, understood, and communicated, that there's a feeling of judgment that will come back on it. And maybe that is the case. People are people, and whatever. But regardless of whether or not judgment is what comes back to you, that's a squirrely. Hi, cutie. It that's the other person's stuff to deal with, because all you're doing actually is expressing that you are a human being with needs, and it is okay for you to have your boundaries. And that's not the sort of thing, like, we should all, in healthy relationships, regardless of what kind of relationship it is, we should all be allowed to communicate about our boundaries in a safe way. And if you're not able to do that, then one, I'm sorry, that's a struggle. And two, maybe it would be an opportunity to consider how much you want to invest in a relationship where your boundaries aren't respected. And maybe that's part of the fear that keeps you from showing up and putting those boundaries into place or expressing them in the first place, is that you know that you have a lot to give, and yet there's also this concern that that people won't actually just let you be you in the ways that you actually are. And I would say, keep the first part in mind. You have a lot to give, and if people aren't going to let you give of yourself in an honest and authentic way that feels healthy and sustainable to you, then it's possible that it might be time to reconsider the agreements in that relationship and make some changes so that you are able to maintain being better resourced, because you have a lot to give. You are an integral part of the community that you belong to. And this really is one of those things where if you can bring the balance to these two energies, then this energy that feels like you, of being courageous and being strong and being willing and wanting to communicate with others and being wise, like, that is all your energy. And the more you can do this work, and then the more you will, like you said, be recalling your soul tribe to you. So, Group 1, Earth people, I hope you have found this helpful. If you enjoyed this reading and found it of value, then please consider giving it a like. Oh, kitties. Motion. Neighbor cat has snuck in while I was not paying attention. And Shorty is a cute, sweet little baby, but he is just a kitten. And my cat is a little bit of a grumpy old lady, and she don't really want to play, so she doesn't really love it that much when Shorty comes around. But anyways, Group 1, yeah, if you enjoyed the reading, then please do consider giving a thumbs up, or even maybe subscribing if you haven't already. And if you'd like a private reading, then all of the details on how you could obtain one on your own will be in the description box below. Please don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself. I wish you the happiest of the equinoxes, and you take care. I will see you soon. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You little monster. You little monster. You little monster. Hello, Group 2. If you selected the element of air, which that's what the alchemical symbol looks like, then this is going to be your reading. And we're going to be looking at two energies that you are being invited to look at and bring into balance at this time. We'll also take a little look behind the curtain and see what the why of that might be, as well as getting some information and guidance for moving forward in bringing those things back into balance. So let's just go ahead, jump right in. On one side, we have the fiery wind, which is known as the chariot. We also have the keeper of boons, which is known as the king of pentacles. Ooh, that showed up in reading 1, the earth reading as well. and also the Forest Lord, which is known as the Emperor. Ooh, fascinating. And then on the other side, we have the Ten of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Five of Wands. Oh, my air friends, this is really interesting. So on the one side, we've got things are moving forward. There's this energy of moving forward and getting mastery over not only how to acquire material wealth and goods, but also how to better manage them, as well as feeling satisfied with the wealth that you do have. And with the Forest Lord, that's the Emperor card. Okay, cakes, cakes, cakes. Neighbor cat is annoying the hell out of my cat. Cakes, kitten drama. Um, what was I saying? The Forest Lord, so the Emperor. So we have this energy of boundaries around material wealth, being wise and judicious with the use of those boundaries, as well as really moving forward with that. And then on the other side, we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is happy home and like happy family, like material circumstances are just all in alignment and everything is feeling pretty dang good. Then we also have the Page of Swords, which is it's quick moving energy, and it's pages are pretty immature energy, so it's like there's this new impulsive idea coming in, and it's maybe causing some conflict. So kind of what I'm sort of feeling here is that, like, on the one hand, things are moving forward. You've put in a lot of time and a lot of work into um, using your wisdom. I was going to say using your wisdom wisely, and using the knowledge that you've attained in a way that is wise and kind and compassionate. And with this fairy wind card, with this chariot card moving forward, I feel like maybe that's something that you had a little bit of trouble with before. Maybe this energy of impulsivity is something that showed up for you a lot before. But this time it's like this there's this conflict. I feel like there's this conflict about there's this energy of conflict and unknowingness and almost a little bit of like anxiety, I guess, is really what's coming up around the home situation. And then we also have on the other side of that, um, moving forward with things and being judicious and wise over the way that we rule the things in our life that we have control over. So, yeah, it's really interesting. It feels like you've done a lot of work to get out of one place and to be in this place where you're moving forward, and it feels like really good energy. But then there's all of this energy of like self doubt that feels like it's going to come in and ruin everything that you've worked so hard for. So let's get a little bit more look of the why behind this. And we have two things. We have awakening, energetic upgrade, a new way of being, integration. Okay. And then we also have the Five of Swords. So we have both the Five of Swords and the Five of Wands. Interesting. And like the fives in general. Sorry, there's just this kitten. I should have closed the door, but now he's in here playing. So yeah, fives are kind of the energy of conflict and fighting and things being like it's not settled energy. So it's interesting. It's like in order for this awakening, this energetic upgrade to happen, there needs to be an integration of these two energies. And it's really interesting. I'm wondering, and again, as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. But I almost feel like there's a present you that has done a lot of work, and there's this past like internal sense of yourself that feels as though, I don't know, like imposter syndrome, or that you're like on the precipice of losing everything. That like there's a lot of self-doubt, there's a lot of internal energy coming through with this. And like the invitation, the reason why you're being asked to bring these things back into balance is for the purpose of integrating those aspects of yourself, both the past aspect of yourself that you may very well have a judgment for, and that's always something that you can look into as to like Where is that judgment? Can I come to a place of understanding and compassion for myself so that I can more healthfully integrate these two parts of myself into a cohesive whole, which will really allow this moving energy, moving forward energy, this emperor energy, this king energy, it will really allow that to propel forward. So next we're going to take a look at some advice on how best to integrate these two energies. And the first thing we have is higher ground. Interesting. And also, I feel like there's something here about a second changing your perspective. Oh, interesting. Okay, we'll come back to that in a sec. And then we also have cuddling. Yes, be kind to yourself. Allow yourself to receive love, whether it's from you or from others who love you. Allow yourself to be in that place of being cared for. And then, oh, we have, okay, I pulled, I think, just 3 tarot cards for everybody else, but that's right. Yours was one, an extra one came out. So we have the 3 of Swords, the Temperance card, the Knight of Wands, and the 9 of Cups. Yeah, there's a really big invitation to, and this is just going to sound like the strangest phrase. I think I've maybe even used it before, and every time I use it, it just sounds weird to me. But letting yourself heal, it's like it feels to me like you have done a lot of work to get to the place where you are now, and that is all something to be, that's work to be applauded, and you should be really proud of yourself for doing in all of that work and showing up for yourself in your way, in that way. But there is still this lingering self-doubt that is showing up, and I feel as though it's causing you, like, it's one of those things like this, like this energy over here of this self-doubt, conflict, not being sure what to do, maybe making impulsive decisions because you're not sure what to do. um, that feels like that caused a lot of pain, which is why you worked so hard to get out of that place. And you are being invited to heal that pain, to let your heart become completely whole again. And a part of what letting yourself becomes whole again is having actual acceptance, love, and compassion for all of the parts of yourself, for all aspects of yourself, even the past parts of yourself that you feel judgment for. So I think there is a really big invitation here to take a look at that judgment, and also, like I said, let yourself be in a place where you are receiving love. And again, whether this is from yourself and, just being caring and loving with yourself or from others. But also, I feel like, if you're looking for something to do this equinox, and that along the sort of like shadow work sort of thing, then I feel like maybe group 2, my air friends, it would be beneficial for you to think about rewriting your own internal narrative. Um, I feel like maybe if you can take that part of yourself that you have a lot of judgment for, and instead of seeing it through the same narrative where you hold a lot of judgment for that aspect of yourself, you instead uh, try and remove that judgment, and see that those things helped you get to where you are now. And in fact, if you hadn't experienced those things, then you wouldn't have ever known what work you needed to do, and that work that you have done has suited you well. Like I said, there's lots of different ways to approach it, but I think this is a really great opportunity for you to take some time into rewriting your personal narrative, and um, seeing how much of a hero you already are in your own story, and allowing yourself to truly own that. Imperfect hero or not, you are still the hero of your own journey, and I think that you would benefit from giving yourself some more credit about that. So, group 2, I hope this has been helpful. If you've gotten value from this, then please consider leaving a like. And if you haven't already, then of course you are formally invited to subscribe. And if you are interested in getting a personal reading, the information on how to do that will be in the description box below. And until next time, don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself, and I will see you soon. Okay. Hello, Group 3. If you selected the element of water, this is the alchemical symbol, then this reading is for you. And what we are going to do is we are going to look at two different energies that you are being invited to bring into balance at this time. And then we're going to look a little bit at the why behind it, as well as some advice and guidance for how best to merge those two energies and bring more balance to them. Whew. Interesting. Okay. So on one side, oh, wow. Group 3, my water friends. Yeah. All right. So on one side, we have the Forge card, which is known as the Temperance card. We have the Keeper of Challenges, which is the King of Swords. And then we also have the Folly card, which in other decks is known as the Tower. Then on the other side, so that's one energy. And then on the other side, we have the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and Death. So, okay, the two energies here, we've got this energy of healing, of trying to remake wisely based on the experiences that you've had in the past where things have just fallen apart and crumbled, and you're really trying to use that energy of logic and of wisdom to rebuild after the folly. And then on the other side, we have this divine masculine and divine feminine energy of the wands, and we have them paired here. And wands is all about creation and intuition and inspiration and passion, but then we also have this death card. So it's like, this is really interesting, and as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. But I feel like there is something about your sense of self that you are being invited to let go of, so that as you continue this rebuilding process and reforging process, you have a clearer vision of how best to do that. Like it's interesting. This is a little bit different than the other two readings that I've done so far. It's very much this, like, it's not like there are two energies fighting with each other so much as allowing one energy to come into balance will really allow this other energy to also increase and also really come more to the forefront. So let's look at the why of these two energies. And we have no, wait, postpone, pause, say no, and the King of Wands again. Okay, so let's go back to this first energy here. This energy that I was saying with the King and the Queen and the Death card, which implies, the Death card is cutting away the things that no longer serve. And we have the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. And then we have the why is no to this King of Wands card. So that leaves us with how do we... Oh, and you know what? Goodness gracious. No, I'm sorry. Okay. My apologies, Group 3. I am wrong. This is not the divine masculine and feminine. This is a knight, not a king. I saw the K. Apparently, I can't read. I don't know. So let me reframe that a little bit based on accurate information. The Knight of Wands, again, it's still inspiration, it's still creativity and passion and all of those things, because it's still wands. But with the Knight, there is less mastery over it. And with the Queen, it's like there's a leveling up, but also a softening of the Wand's energy. Oh, I see. Yeah, there's something about you're selling yourself short here. You're selling yourself short here because it's not so much that this is what you need to let pass away or completely. It's more that you're being invited to let this energy transform for the purpose of leveling up. So we've got on the one side, we've already got one king here. We've got the King of Swords here, and like I said, this is logic. This is wisdom. This is somewhat stern energy. As you can sort of see from the card, it's not very flowery energy. It is a little bit stark. It's kind of like the cold logic of wisdom, or the cold wisdom of logic, I guess I should say. And then we have this King of Wands here. So it's like you're being invited to level, like to bring more passion, to bring more inspiration, and to let that die as it is right now, so that it can, because that's not it. Like there's another step to this. There's a, you don't want to stop here. You want to let this move away for the purpose of becoming better. It's very curious energy. It really is. Like, it seems as though, okay, let's just take a look at these two cards here too. So we have for your why, we have no. And then we have on one of the energies, we have the folly. And it makes me wonder, was that the lightning? Was that the thing? Was that what happened to the tower? Yeah, there's this you're almost there kind of feeling to it, but there's something big that's missing. And I feel like this is such a weird visual to get, but like I feel like with the energy of the forge, with the temperance with the temperance, the tower, and the King of Swords, I feel like that, and like there's like that energy is like here. It's like 30%, right? And then no, wait, I did that wrong. It's like 30%. So it's up here. It's not quite as heavy as this energy of leveling up, letting go, and moving into that place of inspiration. And so you're being sort of invited to elevate this energy of inspiration and bring more of your creativity and your artistry and your passion to this process of rebuilding, because rebuilding only without having your passion and your creation, like, you're just creating something sterile. So maybe, I don't know, everybody's situation is going to be of course different, but maybe there is something that kind of happened where it almost felt like maybe your emotions got the better of you, and it caused chaos in some way, and it caused a lot of things to have to fall apart in some way or another. And so now there's this energy of wanting to lean away from feelings and make good decisions just based on logic, but we are not strictly logical beings. And so by only having logic in building forward, you're actually cutting a whole part of yourself off. And like, no, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to cut off that creative, passionate, feeling, fiery part of yourself, because like the keeper of challenges is swords. This is air energy. And then on the other side, we have all of this wands energy, and you're being invited to say no to not getting rid of that energy, because it is an integral and important part of who you are. So now we're going to get some advice. So we have here, first, we have infinite blessings. So maybe it would be important to recognize, especially if your situation, magical person, if your situation is such that you can look like a singular thing, then this might be easier. Like if the singular thing that caused everything to go awry was in fact a singular thing that you can point at, then this task will be easier. But even if it's not, regardless, you are being invited to look at all of the infinite blessings that you have given to yourself and given to the world around you, and to have gratitude for them. And there's also watching, keeping an eye out, paying attention. So maybe, and again, take what resonates and leave the rest, but for some of you, I kind of feel like maybe whatever this tower situation is has made you feel a little bit cut off from parts of yourself in some ways. And so there's like meditation can be really helpful for watching and observing the self in a different way than we are able to in our daily lives. We also have the Ten of Cups, the Seven of Wands, and the World card as your advice. So, leaning into the things that make your heart feel full, especially if you are feeling cut off from feelings of joy, or if you're afraid to experience that sense of excitement because you are really just trying to stay in that logical place. Squirrel. Then absolutely it would be beneficial for you to try and pay attention to the things and the people that actually make your heart feel alive. Also, we're having with the world here that it's time to just wrap up this cycle. It's time to let the tower have completely fallen, let this rebuilding, like let all of it, what am I trying to say here? It's like let it come to its natural conclusion in a way. It's been a big cycle, and especially with that Seven of Wands energy, that Seven of Wands, like this experience has changed you, and it should, the big experiences that we have in life, and especially with two major arcana cards on that side and one on the other side, I'm feeling like this is probably pointing to some bigger things in your life, but the big things should change us, and that's okay. Like, this is giving you an opportunity to learn more about yourself and learn more about what motivates you and what makes you unique. And you don't want to abandon those parts of yourself that make you unique, because that's where the magic lies. So, leaning into the things that do make your heart feel good, recognizing that this has happened for you and not to you, and that as painful experiences often do, this has given you an opportunity to level up. And instead of turning away from your part of yourself, to actually let yourself integrate the lessons and learn from them rather than shutting a portion of yourself down. So, Magical Group 3, I hope that has been helpful. If you found anything of value in this reading, please consider leaving a like. It helps the channel a lot. You're also welcome to sub if you'd like. And if you're interested in a private reading, oh, Squirrely, where you go? If you're interested in a private reading, then the information on how to obtain one will be in the description box below. And above all else, don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself, and I will see you soon. Hello, Group 4. If you selected the element of fire, this is the alchemical symbol for fire, then this is going to be your reading. And what we are going to be doing is we're going to be looking at two different energies that you are being invited to bring into balance at this time. And we're also going to be taking a look at the why behind that, as well as some advice and guidance for going forward in that endeavor. So on one side, ooh, dang, Group 4, interesting. Okay. All right, so on one side, for the energies that you're being invited to bring into balance, one side, we have the White Heart, which is otherwise known as the Fool card. We also have the Liar, otherwise known as the Devil, and then we have the Child of Challenges, which is otherwise known as the Page of Swords. Okay, all right. And then on the other side, we have the Chariot, the Six of Cups, and the Eight of Cups. Ooh, fascinating. So, okay, on the one side, we have a squirrely who needs a peanut. No, on one side, we have this full energy, this energy of leaping into a new endeavor, taking a leap of faith, and starting off on something new. We also have this liar card, the devil card here. And the devil card, there's lots of different ways to see this. We can either be in a place where we are lying to others, where we are lying to ourselves. Sometimes I've seen a lot of writings about this card, and sometimes it even simply talks about putting your bodily and material needs above your spiritual needs. So there's that. And then we also have the childish challenges, like trying to figure something out, but and trying to think it through rationally, but also maybe not being super practiced in knowing how to tackle this problem. So I kind of feel like, you know what, actually, I'm feeling like on these three energies, now that I've talked that through a little bit, I'm feeling like on one side of the equation here, what we've got with these three energies are saying is that, hey, you want to start something new. You know that there have been some, you know that there have been some things that have come up in the past that have gotten in the way of you being your best self, and you're trying to sort of like think your way through those things so that when you take this leap of faith into this new thing, you're not just repeating stuff um, that has come up before. So that's one side of the equation. On the other side, we have the Six of Cups, the Chariot, and the Eight of Cups. Six of Cups is nostalgia. The Chariot is moving forward. The Eight of Cups is loss and grief. So I feel like this is almost like looking at two sides of the same coin for you. Corn? That's not how that phrase goes at all. I feel like this is looking at two sides of the same coin for you, group four. I feel like you want to move into this new place, but there's all of this lingering stuff that you're not sure how to do. And on the other side, we've got things in the past that you're trying to move away from, but there's just still so much grief showing up. There's just still so much that feels unresolved in a way. And like when we have things unresolved, it's kind of like the mud that shows up under the tires of the chariot. It's like it's mucking it all down. It's like there's this is maybe going to be a weird way to describe it, but we've got all these full cups here. Nostalgia, looking back, our childhood, our youth, maybe not even our childhood, just something in our past. And we've got all of these full cups. And what do? They dump all that water right where the chariot is trying to move through. And now you've got all of these empty cups. And it's just sad because you're stuck and you can't move forward. And it kind of feels like that's the two energies that we've got here. Is there's this one that's like trying to move into something new and wanting to do it well, not wanting to make the same mistakes, trying to think yourself through the same mistakes. But also, again, that devil energy showing up to say, no, there's a little bit of lying to yourself here. And then on the other side, we've got this chariot stuck in the mud. So let's take a look at the why of this here. And we have, that's amazing. And we have the first card that came out is the Oracle card, and it says, you're already doing, stop overthinking, keep facing your true north. And then we also have the Ace of Swords. And yeah, I feel like this is trying to bring in a new energy. This is, and it's funny because the one card says stop overthinking, and then of course the Ace of Swords is like new ideas. So isn't it funny though that that's how the way it works, is that when we're stuck, when we are literally stuck in the mud, sometimes our instincts will tell us that we need to hit the gas and that that's going to help us get unstuck. But instead, hitting the gas on those thoughts and all of that thinking, instead, it just turns us in even more. And if instead we can manage to stop overthinking and stop digging our tires into that mud even more, then that's going to give us an idea. That's going to allow us to have a new idea that we can, oh, I'll just go get some planks so that I can put the planks in drive out, or I'll Get something to pull me out of this mud. Like it's like when you stop actually overthinking and allow yourself to just be still and witness objectively the truth of the situation, then solutions will arise. And I feel like this is a little bit that energy maybe of there has been a pivotal experience that you are trying to step out of and move away from and start fresh, but you haven't really fully resolved all of the energy of that thing. Like, yes, you're doing it. Yes, you're moving forward. You don't need to overthinking it. It's not about thinking. It's really not about thinking. Um, this is more about feeling. I know, feeling, right? Sometimes it's just, oh, it sucks, but you just got to let yourself do it. And I feel like maybe this is a little bit of that energy of jumping over the pain to land in the silver lining. And I mean, I can understand, and I certainly am guilty of that myself and have done that before and try to be aware of it. But the fact is that if you don't actually let yourself sit with the painful thing, then and actually let yourself fully experience it, then it won't go away. It's like by not allowing yourself to fully experience it, instead, what you're actually doing is you're making sure that it sticks around. And that energy can be very, very sticky. So okay, so let's get some cards. Ooh, and that's right, I forgot group 4. You guys get 2 of these oracle cards. So one of them we have is pause, and the other one we have is culmination of vision. And then we have also sleeping, letting yourself sleep, letting yourself rest. And then we have the scrolls tonight. We have the Ace of Wands, the Empress, ooh, and the Emperor. We have the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine of the whole deck right here. And the Ace of Wands. This is beautiful, group 4. Okay. So one, let yourself rest. There's no need to, like, when you make a leap of faith, there's no need to rush it. So I feel like letting yourself just be where you are rather than rushing into this new thing without maybe fully wrapping up the prior thing. And, so pausing, letting yourself rest, letting yourself actually feel and heal, letting yourself feel the things that need to be felt and heal. And that is going to give you greater access to the vision. It's going to give you greater access to how to actually plan that, not plan, but how to actually allow that full energy to fully show up. It's kind of like, I sort of feel like by taking a pause, by taking a pause, by letting yourself rest and really parenting yourself very kindly, very compassionately, and with a lot of love. And that doesn't mean being overly indulgent with yourself or anything like that. But actually, like good parenting. There's a real opportunity for you to reparent some aspect of yourself, perhaps the aspect of yourself that is feeling unwilling to rest in that place of discomfort and allow those negative feelings to be processed so that you can get your chariot unstuck from the mud and really move into that full energy. But yeah, like letting yourself be compassionately reparented by yourself is really going to allow new inspiration. That new inspiration is going to allow you to clarify your vision because you won't be having any of this old baggage. You will have worked through it. It won't be, how can I know that I don't make that mistake again? Because once you've fully sat with it, once you've fully allowed yourself to understand it, and not understand in a logical way, but understand in a somatic way, like with your body, with your heart, with your soul, then you're not going to be having this energies. And you take those two energies away, and what does that leave? That leaves just a fool, this boundless energy to move forward into new things and take those leaps of faith, knowing that you are capable of seeing them through. Group 3, I really hope this has been helpful for you. Please be kind and gentle with yourself. I usually say that to last, but I think maybe you need to hear it twice. If you enjoyed this reading, if you enjoyed this reading, then please feel free to give me a thumbs up, give it a like. It really does help the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. Otherwise, let's see. If you're interested in a personal reading, that information will be in the description box below. Thank you so much for being here. And again, and above all, don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself, and I will see you soon.